everybody. It's me, James Few. I'm here today cause I want to speak my mind about politics. Have you listened to any of the Republican debates lately? So many podiums on the stage. Wow. It's unbelievable having this many candidates for president on the Republican side. And they all have a plan to make America great again. Some old, some new ideas. Some of these tax plans we've all seen before. Let's eliminate the IRS and just have a flat tax rate around 10%. Let's give families an extra dependent exemption that will take their mind off the real issues by telling them it's all about families and family values. No, it's really about brainwashing the voters with the same old rhetoric and propaganda. I don't want to come off as being anti-Republican, like I hear some of these presidential candidates like Marco Rubio bashing President Obama, as if he were running for re-election. Oh, my God. To hear him tell it Obama is the worst president since Jimmy Carter. Is it allowable for a Republican to say anything positive about a Democratic president? Republicans live in the virtual reality world of politics, where almost nothing said is based on actual facts. The only hope for the GOP is Donald Trump. Because he doesn't always play by the rules. Jeb Bush found that out the hard way, when Trump called him out on his brother's role in the Iraq War. Donald Trump told the truth, there were no weapons of mass destruction and we never should have gone to Iraq, because it costs trillions of dollars and destabilized the Middle East.
The enemy.
All right, Mr. Trump. On Monday, George W. Bush will campaign in South Carolina for his brother. As you said tonight, and you've often said, the Iraq War and your opposition to it was a sign of your good judgment. In 2008, in an interview with Wolf Blitzer talking about President George W. Bush's conduct of the war, you said you were surprised that Democratic leader Nancy Pelosi didn't try to impeach him. You said, quote, which personally I think would have been a wonderful thing, close quote. When you were asked what you meant by that, you said, for the war. For the war. He lied. He got us into the war with lies. Do you still believe President Bush should have been impeached?
First of all, I have to say, as a businessman, I get along with everybody. I have business all over the world. I know so many of the people in the audience. And by the way, I'm a self-funder. I have my wife and I have my son. That's all I have. I don't have this. So let me just tell you, I get along with everybody, which is my obligation to my company, to myself, etc. Obviously, the war in Iraq was a big, fat mistake, all right? Now, you can take it any way you want, and it took Jeb Bush, if you remember at the beginning of his announcement, when he announced for president, took him 5 days. He went back. It was a mistake. It wasn't a mistake. Took him 5 days before his people told him what to say, and he ultimately said it was a mistake. The war in Iraq, we spent $2 trillion, thousands of lives. We don't even have it. Iran is taking over Iraq with the second largest oil reserves in the world. Obviously, it was a mistake. So George Bush made a mistake. We can make mistakes, but that one was a beauty. We should have never been in Iraq. We have destabilized the Middle East.
But so you still think he should be impeached?
I think it's my turn, isn't it?
You do whatever you want. You call it whatever you want. I want to tell you, they lied.
Okay.
They said there were weapons of mass destruction. There were none, and they knew there were none. There were no weapons of mass destruction.
All right. Governor Bush. We're back with the Republicans who would be president. The topic now is money and how the candidates would spend it. We'll turn the questioning over to Kimberly Strassel of the Wall Street Journal and Major Garrett of CBS News. Kim?
Mr. Trump.
Yes.
You have made a lot of promises, and you have also, you're the only candidate who has said he would not touch entitlements. The Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget has estimated that your ideas would cost an additional $12 to $15 trillion over the next 10 years, and that we would have to have annual economic growth of anywhere from 7.7% to 9% annually to pay for them. Are you proposing more than you can actually deliver, at least not without big deficits?
First of all, when you say I'm the only candidate, if you listen to the Democrats, they want to do many things to Social Security. And I want to do them on its own merit. But you listen to them, what they want to do to Social Security, none of these folks are getting elected, okay, whether they can do it or not. I'm going to save Social Security. I'm going to bring jobs back from China. I'm going to bring jobs back from Mexico and from Japan, where they're all, every country throughout the world. Now Vietnam, that's the new one. They are taking our jobs, they're taking our wealth, they're taking our base, and you and I have had this discussion. We're going to make our economy strong again. I'm lowering taxes. We have $2.5 trillion offshore. We have $2.5 trillion that I think is actually $5 trillion, because the government has no idea when they say 2.5. They have no idea what they're doing or saying, as they've proven very well. We're going to bring that money back. You take a look at what happened just this week. China bought the Chicago Stock Exchange. China, a Chinese company. A carrier is moving to Mexico, air conditioning company. Not only the ones I talk about all the time, Nabisco and Ford, and they're all moving out. We have an economy that last quarter, GDP didn't grow. It was flat. We have to make our economy grow again. We're dying. This country is dying, and our workers are losing their jobs. And you're going to lose yourself. I'm the only one going to save Social Security, believe me.
Okay, but how would you actually do that? Can I ask you? Because right now, Social Security
you have tremendous
and Medicare,
waste. I'll tell you.
They take up 2/3 of the
You
federal
have
budget, and
tremendous
they're growing.
waste, fraud, and abuse. That we're taking care of. That we're taking care of. It's tremendous. We have in Social Security right now thousands and thousands of people that are over 106 years old. Now, you know they don't exist. They don't exist. There's tremendous waste, fraud, and abuse, and we're going to get it. But we're not going to hurt the people who've been paying into Social Security their whole life, and then all of a sudden they're supposed to get less. We're bringing our jobs back. We're going to make our economy great again. Senator Cruz.
Now you've heard it. I don't know what's going on here. It sounds like Donald Trump is exposing the hypocrisy of the GOP. If it's this easy for Trump to take apart his competition in the Republican Party, I'm very much concerned about the vulnerability of Hillary Clinton. I am confident that Hillary is well qualified for the office of President of the United States, but the question is, if she wins the Democratic nomination, can she defeat Donald Trump? If Bernie Sanders doesn't win, I will support Hillary Clinton by default, but I'm putting everything I can afford at this point behind Bernie Sanders. Donald Trump makes some good points about Social Security and the Iraq War, though he has no experience holding a political office or dealing with foreign policy. Even if you were to somehow overlook these deficiencies, what about his endorsement by Sarah Palin? In my opinion, that was a huge lapse in judgment. This is one of many videos I will be producing for the new Regulator Movement. If you're interested or want to comment on any of these topics, do so in the comments section below, and please subscribe to my channel. Thanks for viewing.